Hello, darling.
Hello, everyone.
Hey!
All week long.
Got them blue pills get moving there. Hector, all rise. All of you. And Hector.
Good to see you, Hector.
Hello, everybody. So that's not a younger gentleman there. So they were
Earlier. Yep. Earlier. But you know what? We got some court going on with him. He doesn't look very happy, but I'm hoping he speaks the English, Creed, because he said his name and I have no idea what he says.
Yeah.
Real fast, Creed. I'll be spending my weekend reading Recovery by our friend Brian Milton, aka Mr. Pike.
Wait, how thick is that, by the way? Oh, that's a lot more than you guys are kind of saying. There's only like
it is, but look at the font. I mean, it's like,
oh, it's pretty. You don't even need glasses for that.
Yeah, I can read this without my glasses.
Is it an autograph copy or?
Come on, son. You know it is.
A love letter.
Look at that. It's not a manifesto, is how he started it out. And I'm looking forward to reading that, as well as Creed on Cougar Hunt. I'm sorry, Clouded Leopard Hunt.
Watching for the Clouded Leopard. I guess it's in the Dallas. Ran out of the Dallas Zoo, and it's a very populated area.
Dense is what you were saying earlier. Very dense, Mikey. Dense.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with court, but we'll keep an eye on it because, quite honestly, if they catch a leopard running around, that's
ratings gold. Well, they're a little far away. If they're at the zoo, do you think it's still that close to the zoo? Is it scared?
I'm really not sure. I saw that JB was on it and watched for just a couple of seconds, but no, they're actually got out all around town, around this area. They've got little spots, kind of like what we're looking at there.
Right.
So yeah, interesting. Anyways, time for court. Let's do it.
Me. I would ask the court tonight.
Is he taking a phone call?
The split bonds, but I don't mind.
There's a leopard on the loose. I'll be right there.
Okay. I'm going to leave the bonds where they're at based off the nature and circumstance of the offense, future safety of the victim. So, sir, keep in mind, if you are able to post these bonds, that there are some conditions already for the treated child bond that you need to abide by. Okay? All right. Thank you. Good luck.
On to the next one. Friday the 13th, Creed. Hope everybody's happy.
He's asking if his bond is going to stay the same.
Yes.
And well, I haven't started reading this yet, but
right back to your cell block.
I may do some videos of me reading excerpts from it. Get my smoking jacket on. My ascot. Those are very popular on YouTube.
Good morning, sir. What is your name?
Ramon Tercero Marufo Jr.
The third.
Marufo.
Well, then it's got to be in like a confined area. Then, if it's not a threat to the community, how is a leopard running around town not a threat?
A failure to comply with duty to register. The bond
if it's been raised in the zoo, probably definitely
$50,000. Miss Quevedo, whenever you're ready.
Probably more scared of you than it is.
Thank you, Judge. I believe from Mr. Marufo was interviewed by Ms. Bayan. It looks like Mr. Marufo was brought in on a wanted person warrant from Snyder, Texas.
Odd way of saying it. But okay.
She's respectfully requesting that he be referred to reentry in the event he's released. Let's see.
Quite the reader.
That's all the information that I have, Judge. He doesn't have any money to post, so he's respectfully requesting a PR bond or any relief the court might find
respectfully requesting, Creed. I like that.
Let me check out his.
I loved him in that movie Machete. Oh, so good, so good.
Judge, I sent a message to everyone.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
What?
that's correct.
What? You didn't know he was in Machete? I just broke that to you?
Wow.
You're welcome.
So then I guess short, I don't know if you want to ask him if there's any other place. I wonder, do all of the shelters have that same,
No, Judge, he can go to the OC.
and then his
DOC.
previous assessment is not popping up, but I think it's because it might be under the second name. So let me check.
Oh, that'd be great to do a book club with it.
When I asked him if he had any sitting around, he was like, yeah. Yes.
And Mr.
He
Vance,
just
is this
messaged
one
me, by
that
the way, as we were going
just,
live,
like,
wanting to know if I got
past
it.
the 7 days, or they've been looking for him for a while?
11/20. It looks like they've been looking for him for a little while because he was released from a halfway house. I want to say a little while. It's been a couple months, and then apparently he essentially absconded, but it's been about 2 months.
Okay.
I don't know if it's that he had been in custody in Snyder.
He was a man on
That's
the
where the
run.
halfway house was in Snyder, or no, that was Report Hill.
jail.
Oh, he was in
Mr.
jail. Thank you.
Marufo, when did you get arrested in Snyder?
November 25th.
Yeah, that fits in with.
And was that an outstanding warrant?
No,
No? Okay.
So it was,
they got me for criminal trespassing.
but so how did he get here? It was a warrant that was issued out of El Paso, and he was a wanted person there?
Wanted, my understanding, well, at least, I mean, she says bench warrant, but since it's Snyder, I imagine it's a wanted person.
Did they maybe mess up here?
They're trying to
It
figure out
looks like
how
he
the
was
hell
just
he
there in a
got
matter of a couple days, is what it looks like. He somehow went up there to Snyder within a couple days of leaving the halfway house.
He's got nice hair, at least.
So I
He had beautiful hair.
think so in his defense.
Well, I mean, they have the 7 days after.
Right, yeah. Released from the halfway house 11/23, and then 11/25 he was arrested because they were noticed 11/26. So I honestly don't see 7 days in there.
That's odd.
He was lost into Shuffle Creed.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, so maybe this was maybe the allegation is for some other time, but maybe not. Then
Yeah, I don't see other times in here that.
So he's released from halfway house, which is obviously they're aware that he's there. They don't wait the 7 days then to
I
get
have
the
some
warrant.
news.
Real quick, there's movement over here. This is
21-8997 Strongman Productions
with
USA
Flo Rida
versus Celsius Holdings Inc. Can I let the record reflect the attorneys are present, parties are present. Anything to take up before bringing yours in?
Flo Rida Friday.
We just saw it not long ago. By the way, so he's suing Celsius drinks.
Gross.
For a bunch of money.
Mr. Feely, with respect to pending actions against Celsius, and I just want to confirm that that stipulation is still in place.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask about that pending civil action in any way.
Or any related actions related to that civil action.
Oh, I didn't know there were criminal ones.
There's no criminal ones.
Oh, okay. I'm not asking about any actions. How about that?
That's easy. That makes it easy. Thank you, Judge. That's all right.
Okay.
Big old head. That's a big dude, man. He's got a thick neck.
How close are you on instructions and verdict form?
So the reason why Ms. Pearson and Mr. Delvada are here is we just got a bunch of new ones and they're reviewing and we're trying to get it done so that we can talk to you when this witness.
Yes, when we're done here, again, I'm not gonna hold you to it, but any rebuttal?
I almost definitely no.
Okay.
As of this far, no.
Okay, so we're definitely.
Any idea who
with all
owns
the,
Celsius?
Testimony and evidence.
It was sold to Coker Pepsi,
picks up
one of
all
the
the
big boys.
instructions.
and
Okay.
that's part of
So
the
there's
reason
money
why-
to be got.
That's
Gotcha.
part of the
I'm sorry,
reason why
Tuesday,
Bang
closed markets. We're closed on Monday.
went out. They stopped
This is
distributing
our
Bang
last witness.
Mhm.
Okay.
to bring in
So we're in
some.
good shape, depending on how far apart you are on
Which is very
inspection,
popular in
or-
Florida. Ironically.
Near Tampa. Most importantly, a YouTuber I know drinks a lot or drank.
That's
Bang.
all I could find when I was down in Florida, and everybody was drinking it.
So I didn't mean to cut away so quick. I just
Oh no, you're fine.
a little
All
bit of
right.
reading real quick. It did say that he was looking up to $30K for each thing, which I thought was interesting.
So they use his music in an ad.
I'm not entirely sure. It does not say exactly. Look up.
I mean, it must be in the millions for him to waste his time like this.
Right, to bring this to court like this.
Because this is going to cost him probably $300,000 to
Your
bring
Honor,
it
I
to
don't know
court.
if it's because I came up in the old courthouse but I just don't think this one's well designed. You know, with the jury room so far away.
Yeah, well, we don't have our own jury room. So there's 6 courtrooms and only 5 jury rooms we all share. That's why they did that.
He's claiming the
They-
company owes him thousands of dollars in unpaid royalties
I don't know
earned
that
from the
was either.
endorsement deal.
Chambers, we all have to share.
Thousands of dollars.
That was the sore spot for a lot of the judges.
Slow riding on hard times.
He just performed all the NASCAR events. I mean,
Oh, then he is. Okay.
making
Gotcha.
some money.
They're just letting him have
Your
part
next
of the gate.
witness, John Fielding.
Guessing that was them, not us. She's wearing those apple bottom jeans boots with the fur.
He damages more than $30K for breach of contract.
That's it?
Fielding.
It's that much for attorney fees. At least.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it be?
You mean Clark?
That's kind of foolish.
Good afternoon.
John, what do you do for a living?
Currently, I'm the CEO, president, and chairman of Celsius Holdings.
How long have you held that position?
Since Jerry retired back in mid-year of 2017.
Jerry.
He was the prior CEO,
What's his name?
Jerry David.
I heard it's all over Dollar
Tell
Tree.
me
by the way.
tell the jurors a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? When were you born?
How were you
Originally
born?
from upstate New York.
Out of a
Newburgh.
woman, I hope.
I grew up in the state of Florida over by Tampa. I'm a CPA. I worked at Eckerd Drugs for over 8 years in retail, and I worked for B2B Publishing and business journals. And I worked at a short time at a biotech company where I learned about public filings. Really wanted to work with a public company at that time, and I had an opportunity to come to Celsius, which Jerry asked me to become his CFO, to be his right hand, to help turn around this kind of failing company at the time, which was Celsius.
I'm going to ask you one thing just for the sake of our great court.
So Jerry ran it in the ground is what you're saying. Good job, Jerry.
Everything you're saying, okay? We're making a record here.
Understood.
So, are you married?
I'm going to listen to all her hit songs today.
I have a daughter and a son,
How old is it?
11 and 15.
Now, you mentioned, now, when did you start again at Celsius?
I started at Celsius January 3rd of 2012.
Yeah, you got to think about
What were the
that.
circumstances
Get
under
that
which
taken care of.
you
And
joined
the money.
Celsius in January?
Yeah, true, but still.
But at the time, when I started, it was a small company. They had a small amount of retail distribution, mainly at Costco, Vitamin Shop. And after I started, actually, unfortunately, within about 3 months, we got delisted out of a few retailers in the country, which was Costco represented about 45% of our revenue at the time. So it's been challenging, but I knew that going in because Jerry mentioned that this was a turnaround opportunity that we were going to be working on together.
And you came in what position in 2012?
I came in 2012 as the CFO of the company.
Okay. Now, we've talked a lot about the company, but we haven't really talked about the company. So I want you to go back to 2012 and tell me.
Well, they're digging awfully deep
What kind of
here
business
now.
was Celsius in at the time in 2012?
Sure.
Excuse me.
The
What
whole
was it doing? What
Wikipedia
was it
on
selling?
Celsius.
At the time, the company was in the dietary supplement space. It sold a negative calorie beverage that was backed by science.
Negative calorie.
Going mainly sales when I joined was coming from Costco and Vitamin Shop was the two largest retailers at the time. And they also had not only cans ready to drink, but they also had powder product as well in the form of a stick at that time.
Did they also offer a tub of powder at that time?
A tub.
That was one of the initiatives when we started. When I started it, we had a single serve ready to drink products, the liquid cans that you see in the courtroom here. Also had 14 count boxes of sticks that the company sold. And when Jerry joined, we created I believe it was a 30 serving tub at the time. And Jerry's background was in the home shopping network. He spent some time in the home
there
shopping
you go,
channel.
Jerry.
So one of the strategies was to create a multi-serving tub that we could take to.
All right, so here's what I just
So
learned.
that was
He
an
already
initiative that we worked
testified,
on
so
and
I don't
ran
think we
some-
even.
In addition to trying to sell that in.
Well,
we
they
also
asked
ran
us
some
if there was going to be any redirect.
That Jerry.
So I figured
handled
he
in his
had.
background as well, and we worked on in the prior company. So we sold some of those art.
I find
the
this
tub
interesting,
servings
but totally
and
up
did
to
some
you.
videos and things like that.
By the way, I feel a Creed frame coming. I don't know if you guys are noticing it, but it's coming. I can feel it in my bones.
Without power since 8:45 this morning, so I wouldn't doubt it. And they're still working. I didn't realize it's right almost in my backyard, just down 2 houses.
Creed's running on
Yeah, so
generators
this is
right
a
now, by the way.
Very similar formula to
Little
the
known
liquid
fact.
product. It's just basically a liquid product without the liquid.
Negative calories,
in
yes.
the form of powder. And this
Just take
came
it
in
and
a.
it takes it away.
I believe it is a 30 serving tub. So yeah, 30 servings. 30
Why are we
serving
looking at the
tub,
product? We
that
got
had
the
there.
idea.
It's
You owe the man money?
outrageous orange flavor. We called it outrageous because it didn't have any bubbles in it. So
And this is only branded under the Celsius brand name, right?
that's correct.
And this was something that existed before 2014. that
I'm
Celsius
guessing you
offered
just joined Mixed a Lot.
to its retailers and its distributors, right?
That's correct. 2012, if I recall.
Okay. So,
We got it though. We're watching. In case they find it.
you mentioned something, was Celsius a publicly traded company at the time you joined?
Yes, it was.
Did those circumstances change after you joined Celsius? In other words, that it's continued being a publicly traded company?
Since I've been at Celsius, it's always been a publicly traded company.
Now, has Celsius been listed in different exchanges or been designated as a publicly traded company in different categories since you started at Celsius in 2012?
Yes, that is correct.
Can you tell the jury, can you just briefly describe to the jury what different categories was Celsius at and when?
Yeah. So just when I started with the company, please keep in mind this is a turnaround. Okay, keep that in mind. So the company was originally on NASDAQ when I started. Prior to me starting, it was in 2010, 2011.
20 minutes.
Keep in mind, this is
You wanna bring
a world's
Jerry in?
negative calorie drink. It's going to disrupt the beverage category at the time. That's what the founders wanted to really do with Celsius. Had big ambitions for Celsius. They were able to raise capital through the public markets. I think it was around $17 million on that thesis that they were going to disrupt the beverage category with a negative calorie beverage. Unfortunately, sometimes business relationships and business strategies, partnerships don't work out.
Calorie.
And they wound up getting
They
delisted.
probably thought this was a great idea
as I
too,
mentioned,
for the
when I
publicity.
arrived, they were starting to get delisted. They wound up spending a lot of money. They spent the money. They had a lot of distribution out there in the country, and the product just did not work. So therefore, it got delisted out of a variety of stores, and it also got delisted off of NASDAQ. And it was on what they call the OTC pink sheets, which is kind of like the lowest
And
tier
on the Howard
within the
Stern show,
public company status.
Always talk about
So keep in mind, public companies have really different tiers. You can be on what they call the pink sheets. And that's where Celsius was when I arrived.
And did that change after you arrived? After It got listed, delisted?
No, it did not. No, it didn't.
It
mean, it's
did,
around
and that
a lot
was
now.
one of the reasons.
It's around more now than it was.
Carl DeSantis was one of the main investors, and he invested in Celsius when it originally uplisted to NASDAQ. And his main thesis and his main strategy was to make all the investors whole that invested in the company. So one initiative or
I think
KPI,
part of why
or,
they're
you know,
getting into this is
goal
that
that
he was
really
promised
told
some,
to deliver on is to
some
get the
shares.
company listed back on
Some part
NASDAQ.
of
And
it.
that was really important for Carl. And the reason why, another reason why he brought me on and I took the job is I told him I would deliver on that.
So wait, you said some initials there, KPI, just so everybody understands.
Sorry. Key performance, indicator. It's like kind of like your bonus goal, a goal that you have to achieve that's required for you to achieve to keep your job.
So now, did your KPI change and get better over time after 2012?
It did. We went from what they
it's
call
been around a
the
long
OTC
time.
pink sheets,
Longer than I thought.
non-disclosed. So I'm not sure how many are familiar with the stock publicly traded companies, but on the OTC markets, there's a classification where you're at the bottom of the OTC, and a lot of, when you type in the ticker symbol, a stop sign will come up, just warning you that the company is like a penny stock per se. There's a lot of risk associated with that company. And we graduated through the years to OTC fully disclosed. We moved up to an exchange, which is a mid-tier exchange, from the OTC pink sheets to the
In other words, they've been
OTCQX. And
throwing
then
money at it for a
in,
lot of years.
I think it was like July of 2017, we were able, due
I
to
hope
the
so.
revenue numbers and the financials performance of the company on our I think it was revenues we met and the stock price value being over $4, we qualified for NASDAQ.
Well, you know me.
And at that point in time, we filed the proper paperwork to uplist, they call that, to the NASDAQ exchange where we're currently traded now under CELH.
And I want to go back to, again, I'm focusing on the time between 2012 to 2014. I want you to tell the jurors.
Never had that either.
What flavors of, for example, the powdered product did Celsius offer to its retailers and distributors?
The powder product, I believe when I started, we had wildberry originally as one of the flavors. And then we had the orange powder canister that you showed.
Outrageous
And we also
orange.
had the orange powder sticks in the 14 count box that we sold.
May I approach?
Yes.
I believe this is part of a composite exhibit.
Oh, what a missed opportunity for him to be sipping on a Celsius right here.
Yeah, right.
I think it's plaintiff's exhibit 275.
Excuse me, Judge.
See, the thing is, though, where we're at now with the Celsius,
Yes, I think it's,
Pepsi or Coke.
is it
that took over
275 or
distribution,
75?
so
This is part of it, composite exhibit
which is
275. Your Honor.
a huge deal.
And I was just wondering if you could identify for the jury exactly what those boxes are.
Pregnancy
Yes.
test.
The first box that you see is the 14 count box of outrageous orange. And it looks really very familiar to the 30 serving tub that
It is so
was
delicious,
just
I'm
presented
telling
a few minutes ago. Same packaging, it's just in the tub format. We moved from this packaging because you're constantly evolving the brand as you go, trying to learn what works with consumers. How do you make the brand sell more attractive to consumers? Internally, we call this the PowerPoint
Pepsi,
presentation
is doing they
to
own
consumers, and we've started to
8.5% stake
move into a more
I'm having a hard time
cleaner
hearing you
package,
over him.
that we were working on.
Is it loud? I've got it.
Very
Look how far
plastic
down.
Well,
flavoring
you're both talking at the
package.
same time, so I couldn't hear you.
Oh, usually it's
That were
very
sold
low.
by
So I
Celsius.
never know. 8.5% stake in Celsius for $550 million, just to give you an idea. So it's kind of a big deal now.
So it's got money now,
right.
but
So I'm
when
wondering-
was Flo Rida involved?
That's a good question. Now I'm kind of thinking it might have been a while ago. I don't know.
14 count sticks.
Put one in your water. What a missed opportunity, bro.
Now, as part of your job as CFO, did you keep track of the sale of products? Let me take it back. As part of
Pretty
CFO,
much.
did you keep track of products for purposes of inventory and sales?
Yes.
And how did you, as CFO of Celsius, keep track of product for inventory and sales?
We track all of our inventory by SKU.
Please tell the jury what an SKU is.
It's a stock count unit. That's the way
The SKU number, you
manufacturers
mean?
and wholesalers track their sellable goods.
So if the manufacturer and the retailer want to talk to each other in the same language, at least with regard to identifying a product, they use the SKU, correct?
That's standard in the industry, correct?
What's a UPC?
It's a universal, it's a barcode that's on a
It's
variety of different
Flow
items,
Rida, the rapper Flow
including,
Rida.
you know, at
It's
retail,
doing
a lot of times
Celsius
retailers will track
currently
items
over
by
30K.
UPC.
Is today the first day of this trial, or has it been going on?
No, I think it's day 2, I believe.
Oh, God.
No,
I'm not entirely sure. We can jump out of it.
we don't sell by UPC
It's
code.
up to you.
We sell by SKU.
I'll let the chat decide if we stay in
And
there.
is that because Celsius doesn't sell directly to the consumer?
That's correct.
Of course, the link that I went to, it said something about him testifying. That's why I jumped on it, because I thought he was coming in to testify, but that was, I guess, yesterday or Tuesday.
I mean, this guy is the Flow Rida of Celsius. He took over for Jerry. I don't know if y'all heard that shit.
Costco, direct to Publix, a variety of retailers at the time.
Now, an issue in this case has been what does a unit mean? You're familiar with that, right?
Oh, yes.
And I'm gonna go ahead and show you 2 things here. One is it's already in evidence in 275, which is the Flow Fusion 14-box count sticks. And I'm also gonna show you the individual Flow Fusion berry stick. Do both of those items contain UPC codes?
Yes.
Does Celsius have an SKU for the box?
Yes.
The Flow Fusion box?
Yes, we do.
Does Celsius have an SKU?
Are we just going to go through the entire catalog of what they sell now? Is that what we're doing?
So.
What is this guy
think
doing
we
Flow
should jump.
Rida?
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're super deep into where that's going. Let's jump back to where we were.
We're jumping somewhere else. That's over with. So this isn't really all that interesting. We're not talking about SKU numbers or Celsius, but the lady that's involved in the case is kind of interesting. We're going to just watch a few minutes of it, and then maybe we'll get Leopard Watch up.
Would you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Cassandra Mills, M-I-L.
In case you're wondering, Creed, yes, that does say choke on her name, on her neck right there, tattooed the words choke.
It's adorable.
That's I don't know if that's an instruction or maybe a nickname.
L-S.
And are you the plaintiff in this complaint for divorce?
Yes.
And were you a resident of Huron County more than 10 days and a resident of the state of Michigan for more than 180 days immediately preceding filing this complaint for divorce?
Yes.
And is the defendant also a resident of Huron County, Michigan?
Not currently, but he was.
At the time that you filed the complaint, he was a resident?
Yes.
Why would you get that tattooed on your neck?
And were you and the defendant married on March 10th, 2020 in Bad Axe, Michigan by a judge who was duly authorized to solemnize marriages?
Yes.
She say badass Michigan?
And did you live and cohabitate together as husband and wife until on or about January 27th of 2022?
Yes.
You see the attorney
And
doing like this,
prior to
telling
the
her what to
marriage,
say.
Your name was Cassandra A. Lanfar. Lanfar? L-A-N-P-H-A-R.
You sure her last name wasn't Choke?
Is that correct?
Correct.
And the defendant's name has always been Zachary
Badass.
Mills.
Okay,
Is that correct?
close enough.
Correct.
And you and the defendant have one minor child together, and that
Oh, maybe the
is
kid's name is Choke.
VM, or her initials, and it's she's 1 year old. Is that correct?
Correct.
And are you currently pregnant?
No.
You see her shaking her head, telling her no?
And you said in your complaint that there was a breakdown of the marriage relationship to the extent that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed, and there remains no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved. Was that true at the time that you filed your complaint?
Yes.
Is it still true today?
Yes.
If the judge were not to grant your divorce, would you be willing to resume a husband and wife relationship with the defendant?
No.
She
And
tells
could you please tell the court in your own words
I don't know how you're allowed to do
why
that.
you feel the marriage.
How can you? I mean, we're just not going to watch this entire 20-minute thing if this is a divorce thing, but I want you to introduce you to this young lady, this Cassandra. How can you sit there and just do like this and like this and like you just tell her everything to say?
And nobody's saying anything about that, I guess.
I mean, maybe it's because it's a divorce or something like that, but at the same time, the judge just chills. By the way, these are great cases. This one is all right, but there's some doozies in this courtroom.
Cannot be preserved.
We just didn't work out as husband and wife. We do great as co-parents, but there's no real sight
Great
of
observation,
anything working
Griggsy.
out as far as being married.
Thank you. But the two of you have reached an agreement as to all issues of your marriage. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you have agreed that you and the defendant will share joint legal custody and joint physical custody of the minor child, VM, until further order of the court, correct?
Correct.
And you have agreed that you shall have parenting time on an alternating week-to-week basis, exchanging Sunday at 6 p.m. And each of you shall have one midweek overnight of parenting time on the other party's custodial week. And if you are unable to agree on that specific.
Maybe he pulled a Knox. Knox told us one time he had a girlfriend that was into that affliction.
He cried, didn't
and he cried trying to do it, and she got very mad at him and yelled at him.
Yes,
for it.
As he continued to cry.
Yeah, tiny hands and a choke fetish, I guess, wouldn't go together. But that's pretty much it. Creed, what you got over there?
Not sure, but dude's looks like a hole in his head.
Maybe last night. I think I recognize your name. You might have picked up a new charge today. Does that ring any bells?
Yeah, they said it was for domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
I do think you did get a PR bond on that, though, Mr. CR. I don't know if we only have one other person. I don't know if you want to explain to him further, but it's not up for arraignment right now.
Okay. Your Honor, did you say the fine was $225?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you're all set, sir, for what I have now.
Oh, he's such a great character. Let's keep him.
You're all set.
You're all set there, Leatherface.
You're all set, sir.
He ran into a door.
Oh, his boyfriend's there to pick him up. Oh, never
Good time
mind.
to the yawn.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Nathan Metzger.
Mr. Metzger, it's a felony file 213240FT. I'm going to read it to you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Darius here, appearing on behalf of Mr. Metzger for the purpose of arraignment. We've reviewed this charge. We waive reading at this time. He was asking that this matter be set for probable cause in prelim. He is screened for a court-appointed attorney and does qualify at this time. We'd ask the court to set bond at $1,000 cash or surety. He's currently on a hold out of Kent County.
Good.
What is this beard
There's
thing?
no
happening
drugs, no
just
alcohol,
underneath?
no marijuana, no driving
It's a
without a
shin
valid
strap.
driver's license. You
Just to
understand
hold
and
his head
agree to
on.
that?
Yes.
Good. You already have the public defender representing you on this matter. You already have next court dates here now.
Shells, thank you.
On
for
January
5.
26th, you have a
Shell's
pre-exam,
official sponsor
and then a
of
preliminary
today's show.
hearing January 31st in courtroom B in front of Judge Belargin. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times. If you're still incarcerated, corrections will find a way for you to be available. But with that, you are all set, sir.
1,000 bones, bro, and you can get out.
Thank you.
Would you like a Celsius? I mean, what are you
And
waiting
we
for?
have
Get
some
move.
Files from Wednesday.
Get up, you
They're
big
good at
dummy.
Giving
No
instructions
shows
here.
from
Everybody
the
looks
11th.
very confused.
He still has
What
pajamas
I have
on.
here is Rashia Brunel.
Oh, we're bringing somebody else in, or are we cutting her off?
These will be $300 cash surety bonds.
I love his sign recording.
Yes. And also, he's got one of those buffet things up. So, you know.
Yeah, it's a shower curtain, right?
Why this one?
I like that he talks to himself. Like
I hope there's other people in there. I wonder if his kids got him that.
For Tower Pope.
Dad, wait till you see what we got you for Father's Day.
I mean, that's a bigger sign than we had for the live on air, you know, when the mics are hot in the
Next one will
radio.
be Dylan
Yeah.
Sanders. Same thing.
I guess he's just doing paperwork now.
We'll jump away from that for just a second. Creed, we're about to play everyone's favorite game. I know mine when I'm sitting alone at night. We're going to try and guess, what did she do, Creed? This young lady, a beautiful neck tat.
Is that giant lips on her?
See, I thought that too. I don't know. I haven't watched too far into this, but I thought she had the biggest set of lips on her neck that I'd ever seen.
That's what they look like from here.
But go ahead now. Get your guesses in. What did she do? Wonderful women of Knox County.
My whole life, but I moved to Maryville not too long ago, but I moved back.
So you moved to Maryville, but now you're back in Knoxville?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and put whole life. That's fine. All right, and your affidavit says that you are not currently employed? Is that correct?
No, I am, yeah.
You are employed?
Yes.
Oh, she got a job.
Was that Arby's? Is that what it says?
Oh.
No, it's AMS Global. I'm a cleaner.
Okay, AMS Global. All right.
Wow, she really shit on her for a second, didn't she? Arby's, right? Am I right? No, I'm a cleaner. Get it right. Put some respect on that cleaning job.
We have the meats.
And $800 biweekly?
Yeah.
So she's running a YouTube channel.
All right. You check your criminal history. It said you got arrests for violation of probation out of Blount County last year. You're currently on unsupervised probation with judicial diversion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's get to the current charge.
1129. Okay, and you've got new charges of 2 aggravated assaults and a vandalism over 2,500. So those are all felonies.
Jay, congratulations there on that one. Nailed it.
She's shaking her head. She said, no, that wasn't her.
Okay, let's start with the first aggravated assault. The alleged victim is Maya Barber. Said this supposedly happened at Taylor Holmes Road on December 24th.
Oh, Christmas.
And the victim, well, there's one that she's a witness in this case in particular. Anyway, Ms. Walker, Jazada Walker, informed officers the suspect, Cameron Gardner, showed up at her residence unannounced, and that Gardner demanded that she come out to fight her. Walker informed officers that she and her friend, victim Maya Barber, went outside and a brief physical altercation took place. After the physical altercation took place, both Walker and Barber stated that Gardner got into her Ford Edge and attempted to run both of them over. Both victims stated they were able to avoid being hit and got into a vehicle to leave the scene. Gardner struck a vehicle in the parking lot while attempting to hit the victims. That's what you're accused of. On this aggravated assault, I'm going to put, actually, I need to finish looking at your.
I like that the whole incident started with a calling out, Creed. I don't know if you know, but on the streets, when you get called out,
that's a big deal.
Even T.I. wrote a song about them. Bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them out.
Your criminal history. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing else.
She seems like she's got
All
a great
I'm going to put an
attitude.
appearance bond on that of $10,000. that, like I said, that's an appearance bond. That means 10% of that is the amount you have to pay the bonding company.
Gee, Stephen O'Neill.
I'm going to put another appearance
Gee.
bond on the one where the victim is Ms. Walker. And then the vandalism. It said that you crashed the car into the side of the building, causing significant damage.
Wow. Oh, of course, yes.
Anyway, it
Beautiful
says
heart.
$7,000 worth of damage. I'm going to put an appearance bond on that of.
Creed, when you try and hit somebody with a car, you hit them with the car.
People don't successfully ever hit people with cars, I guess. Is what we've learned this week.
You just smash into other things like this person, she hit a building.
$3,000.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, and you're not to have any contact with the victim.
She'd murder me in my sleep. That's just letting you know, don't mess with me too sweet.
It's like the look that she gives to her grandma just before she starts yelling about the fact that she accidentally bought the Diet Sundrop.
I'm kind of disappointed she took it. She should have went with her hands instead of the vehicle. Way less charges.
Okay, so that's $23,000 bond. That's $2,300 to a bonding company. I'm going to get you to court.
It's kind of high, though.
You're going to be in felony court on January
All three
the
were
17th.
felonies, though.
That's this next Tuesday. That's felony court. And if you haven't already bonded out, you'll have a bond hearing on that day. If you do bond out, the jail will give you a new court date, and you don't have to come back on Tuesday, okay?
She seems really
Have you had the public defender before?
pissed off.
No.
Creed, what you got over there?
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
18, well, 1118
Mm-hmm.
East 24th Avenue.
We haven't seen Stansbury all week long.
No, I know.
43211. Is there an apartment or anything like that?
No,
Nope.
it's a house.
What do you do for a living?
Well, right now I'm a current manager at IHOP.
Okay. Which one?
Hey, good job.
The one in
Good
Polaris.
for you.
Yeah, Derby.
All right.
Management job leads into another management job.
I'm a cook.
Where do you cook?
Bob Evans.
Which one?
Polaris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same area. I try
So
to
that
keep-
East
So
24th
he's
Avenue
a manager at
is on the north side.
IHOP and he's a cook at Bob
they live in
Evans
there.
too?
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Let me just take a quick look here at the file.
That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing.
Let's see. All right. The allegation is that you cut somebody's hair while they were sleeping. So, anyway,
He
long
cut
story short,
somebody's hair while
you
they
can
were
make a demand for what's called
sleeping.
discovery, which means they'll have to give you everything they intend to use against you. That's whether you have a lawyer or not. If you do get a lawyer, the lawyer's going to get everything that you need to be able to have a conversation with him about how you're going to resolve this matter. Okay. So,
trying to see if I can be
IHOP.
to like.
yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and fill it
I
out.
don't have the finances for a lawyer.
Well, we take into account both your income and your expenses, and we also take into account the household size. So basically, the eligibility kind of mirrors the federal poverty guidelines. And
He got in trouble for
I
cutting
always tell
somebody's
people, look,
hair while they
you
were
know,
asleep.
Even if you don't think you're going to be eligible,
It's a prank.
take the application anyway. Because if you are, then you've got a lawyer no matter what. And if you are able to go hire somebody, good for you. But otherwise,
Oh my God,
there won't be
yes.
any unnecessary delays in your case. So,
Who said they
any
didn't?
questions?
Vinny.
No.
All right, record's going to reflect that I'm going to hand you your copy of the complaint, and you may go with the bailiff. Thank you, sir.
My dude works very hard for his money.
Arafat, is it Munkela?
We're gonna lean on
Come on
him
up,
about
Mr.
cutting
Taylor.
somebody's hair while they were asleep. Cut
Good
my
afternoon,
hair.
sir.
while they were asleep.
You understand your rights in court today?
Did he cut
All
this
right.
guy's hair?
And you have two cases that we need to talk about. Let's find out what they are. So you have two criminal charges. One is alleged to have occurred on October the 11th of last year. The other is alleged to have occurred on October the 17th. But they didn't get indicted until December for
I
whatever
love
reason.
that.
And it looks like what happened was they went ahead and mailed it to the Weyburn Road address, and it came back as not deliverable as addressed.
I still got.
No. Did you get this thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
all right.
prank, bro. Calm
Okay,
down.
well, in the 22 CRB 1913, the OSU Newark Police Department is alleging that on or about October the 11th of last year, within the city of Newark and in Lincoln County, Ohio, that you did knowingly with the purpose to deprive the owner of property valued less than $1,000,
Stole something.
obtained or exerted control over that property without the consent of the owner. Commonly known as theft, it's a first-degree misdemeanor, up to 180 days jail, up to $1,000 fine. How do you want to plead? Okay. And what is your current address?
It's the same one.
2360 Wayburn. And what's your zip?
43213.
Okay. Do you go to school? Do you work? What do you do?
Oh, yes, I went to OSU. I transferred to main campus.
So you're over main campus now? All right. Did you start off over here at the Newark branch?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Where'd you go to
remember
high
back in high school, people would cut people's hair. They would shave off their eyebrows.
Centennial that's on Bethel Road, right?
Yes.
Drive on their face, draw on their
Right there the
face.
other day.
James, good to see you over there on the Facebook.
Let's see here.
I guess so. I mean, I was at every sleepover I was ever at. We did some
Looks like
crazy
this one
stuff.
is somehow related to an alleged stolen credit card.
No, stolen
So
credit
there's
card.
that one. I've gone ahead and done your not guilty plea on that. Did I put down what I needed to put down? No, I didn't.
See, I would.
Do you have
I
a
would
major
get that,
declared
but
yet?
I would be afraid it would be
What do you
cold.
Chemical?
Guy here.
Okay, mechanical. All right. What you need to do is you need to go into biomechanical so you can invent something that they have to use in every single surgery, and then you retire at 30 and take care of your parents.
How about siblings?
You're not going to be able to take care of your parents at 30 with that degree. But you know what? You do what you like.
Burn.
I didn't have very good job prospects coming out of college with a degree in history and a minor in Russian. So, okay. In the second
All right,
case,
that's
which is 22 CRB 1912, there are two counts. The first count alleges, well, they're both theft counts.
The only job you
These
got
are
was
alleged to have
teaching
occurred within
Russian
the city
or
of Newark as well.
history.
Again, I think it's, I don't know. Again, allegations regarding a theft on campus, I believe. That being said, you want to plead not guilty to these charges as well? All right.
Mm.
Is Portillo the one that Adam did a video at that had, there was I think it was punch.
What didn't I sign?
Just close to that.
I didn't mark anything, did I?
Sounds like an Italian joint.
This is the mischief. It's too wrapped up in the hair cutting, I think.
He's still reeling from the haircutting trial of the century.
Luckily, you read my mind and knew that I wanted to do an oil bond. Thank you. Okay.
It'd do him real well if he dealt with truck drivers and or anybody in Myrtle Beach.
It's funny that he's sitting here right now as a judge, and he come out of college with
Here's what we're going to do.
those 2 degrees.
Is it Michaela? Yes. Okay.
Nothing to do with law.
Okay. On both of the cases, we're going to go ahead and, or I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set recognizance bonds. That means you're going to sign paperwork promising to
that's
show
the place.
court
Yeah.
dates. Until and unless a lawyer gets involved on your behalf, we're going to send those directly to you. So
They
make
have
sure
one
you
in
keep your eye on
Orlando.
the mail. You can track your own case online. Now, you've already filled out your application. It looks like I'm going to hand that back to you because if you are going to be applying for court-appointed counsel, you're going to want to turn that into the clerk. You only need to do one application, but you'll need to put both case numbers down on that paperwork, and they can do that for you, or they can at least tell you what those numbers are. But until and unless a lawyer gets involved, all the notices go to you. If you do get a lawyer, they all go through the lawyer, so it's important you stay in close contact. Any other questions?
I have a question. So we're like in the process of moving, so I put like both of the address in there.
You might want to just mark on there, we'll be moving to on such and such a date. But when you
I
do
know that.
actually move, go to our website, click on the contact us, and send an email and say this is my new address with your name.
I was just surprised to
Don't
hear
put your
it.
Social security number on it. Just put your name and your case numbers on there. Now, by the way, these are not consolidated, which means we're doing them together today, which is common for arraignments, but they may end up going to 2 different judges. They may have 2 different dates. They may get consolidated and actually heard together. But the main thing is keep track of which case they're talking about by the case number assigned to it. All right. So the record's going to reflect now that I'm going to hand you your copy of all the complaints because they did come back to us. If you have any other questions today, then you may go with the bailiff. Good luck. Just follow her. Exactly. All right. Next up is going to be Jasmine Hill.
Sounds like a housing complex. Where are you staying at? Up on Jasmine Hill? Oh, yeah. I know that spot.
Come on up, Miss Hill. Okay. You understand your rights in court today?
Yes.
All righty. Did you receive a copy of the complaint in your case?
Yes.
Did you read it? Did you understand it?
Yes.
You've been charged, well, the Newark Police Department alleges that on or about the 12th of November of last year within the city of Newark and Lincoln County, Ohio, that you did knowingly cause or attempt to cause physical harm to another, specifically an Erica Smith. That being said, it's a first-degree misdemeanor commonly known as assault. Maximum penalties are up to 180 days jail, up to a $1,000 fine. Understand? And how do you want to plead? And what is your current address?
198 Wilson Street, Newark, Ohio, 43055.
Apartment or anything like that? No. Nope. Okay. What do you do for a living?
I am a packer at Abercrombie and a crew member at Wendy's.
Which Wendy's?
21st Street.
Okay. How long have you been at Abercrombie?
Abercrombie, 3.5 years.
Okay. And how long have you been doing a side gig over at Wendy's?
Oh, I'll start Monday.
Oh, so you're just starting?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Damn.
We'll take a quick look
Gotta have
here
two
at the
jobs.
file, and then we're going to talk about your bond in a minute, but we need to know what we're talking about here.
Hope it's not from stealing from Abercrombie.
Yeah, the air support is gone. There's no I don't know what was happening. I was reading in the comments a little bit about some speculation that it might have been allegedly stolen. Of course, again, that is in a YouTube chat on a live, so you never know. But it was very weird. That I think there's going to be more to that story about the leopard. We'll see.
Maybe it was a baby. Baby.
Loud, I got at 9 o'clock last night that we got a chase was live. That was Facebook.
Don't feel bad. I got alert at 3 o'clock in the morning that my Walmart order had been dropped off at my front door. What? With a picture and everything. Did he say what she did yet?
All right, here's what we're going to do today, Mr. Hill. I'll go ahead and release you on your own recognizance on condition you need to have no contact with the alleged victim, Erica Smith. This case is going to be randomly assigned to a judge set for trial. You'll get notice by mail of when that's going to be. So make sure your address is complete and correct.
Somebody pissed her off.
You are eligible to ask for court-appointed counsel. You can hire your own counsel. But if you're going to do that, take care of it right away. And if you do get a lawyer, stay in close contact with them so that you can be prepared to resolve the case the next time you come.
We made it this far. We got one
today?
more in
You
the
may
church
go with the
queue,
bailiff.
so we
Thank
might
you.
as well see it through unless it's a
Unless they're
And that'll
together.
bring us to Mr. Baker.
Nope, Mr. Baker's up.
Is it a unlicensed dog or?
Come on up,
I
Mr.
don't know, but
Baker.
he's, at least he wore a
You
tuxedo.
understand your rights in court
He's
today.
got a lot of stuff in
Have
his
your rights sworn,
pockets.
please.
Love his tuxedo shirt.
And did you receive a copy of your citation or your complaint?
Yeah, but I can't remember exactly the guy. I asked the gentleman, the officer, I was walking down. He had drove past me first on South 21st.
Well, let's back it up here for a minute, okay? So the Newark Police Department is alleging that on or about September the 3rd of last year, within the city of Newark, that you did recklessly cause inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm by engaging in fighting, threatening harm to persons or property, or in violent or disturbing behavior. It's
Oh.
commonly known as disorderly conduct. Now, they've filed it as a minor misdemeanor. So the maximum penalty here is a $150 fine. There's no jail time associated with the minor misdemeanor. How would you like to plead?
I'm not sure. Because there was no, when the guy, what you had said, what you had said, like the violent, and engaging in violent, it wasn't that at all.
Well, then let's go ahead and do an not guilty plea on your behalf. What's your address?
698 Karen Parkway.
That's here in town?
Yes, sir.
All righty. What do you do for a living?
Ironically, he lives in
I'm
Karen
receiving
Court.
disability presently, but I'm going right now after I leave here to get a new ID.
Okay.
Because I got to go. I went through my physical for
Sure.
service to Rifles. Hopefully I'll start Monday or two.
What kind of work were you doing before
I
you
do
got hurt?
factory work a lot of times.
Fair enough. All right. Okay. And who do you live with over on Karen Park?
My grandma.
Okay. Good deal.
Still living
All
with
right.
your
Well, here's what
grandparents.
we're going to do today, Mr. Baker. I'll go ahead and I'll release you on your own recognizance. We'll get this randomly assigned to a judge set for trial.
Well, at least we
We'll
got to
notify
see a
you by
little
mail.
bit of licking this week. I don't think we've had any licking.
None. Zero. Absolutely none.
2021.
Through today's
First appearance is
or
Creed.
through this week's date, through January 12th of 23. All right.
So I guess what we're saying is even if you bond him out today, this detective is going to show up with more things that he did a year ago and get more charges.
Oh,
So, I guess my question, and I don't know, Ms. Trent, if you can answer this question is,
Dwayne coming in hot.
are any of these acts alleged to have happened while he was on bond?
The case that you're hearing today, Your Honor, no.
Okay.
The cases that he's already been granted bond on from yesterday, yes. He was granted 2 separate $10,000 bonds on cases that are alleged to have occurred after July 8th, 2022.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do in this situation, based on that information, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deny bond at this time. I'm going to find he is a risk to reoffend, and I'm going to let the Superior Court judge make a global determination on all of these cases. So he stops having to post bond, get rearrested, having to post bond and rearrested. I think that because
he's done left the podium. He's like, all right, I'm done.
Continuing this,
Yeah,
is
walked off.
on
You don't
bond.
want to hear it.
I do find that that is concerning.
Very quick, we'll jump right back. But a man in a wheelchair over there just just always reminds me, never forget.
How can we?
Never forget.
That's all I can do for him right now. And Mr. Jones, I would just suggest that you go ahead and file the motion for bond and get a global bond from the Superior Court judge.
Global.
Okay, thank you.
All
Usually
right,
they're
thank
talking
you.
about
Have
a
a good
lot
day.
of.
Is there a
lot of
particular
charges?
judge that's
Lots of
being
charges.
assigned to?
I
or-
don't know who it's been. Miss Trin's probably got it pulled up, so I don't know if you see. Who's
I'll be glad to send him the ADA who's going to be the handling it while it's in limbo. Since we're doing horizontal, I think that'll be the best person to direct his questions to.
Horizontal
Okay.
limbo.
All right, and
Miss
he'll
Trin.
get that over to you and Miss Hopewell.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Also
sir.
known as missionary.
Okay, so I think that is all of the consents. Is that correct?
Well, we kind of did in
And
the
Mr. Jones, you are thanked
in the
this case.
comments, though.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Somebody showed up.
Yeah, Regina was she was nice enough to join in the comments yesterday. She said that she had not heard yet what the decision was on yesterday's case, but she would be letting us know as soon as she could about who won. So still the judge with no decision from yesterday's case between Mrs. Beard and Shannon. I'm guessing he's Mr. Beard, but I like Shannon better. But yeah, she was in the comments. So happy to have her as part of our family, a new subscriber. I think our first real attorney subscriber.
Said something about her facial expressions. I thought she was great. What she
Well,
did.
she's talking about how over the top the other lady was with hers.
Yes.
Hers were
Okay,
just
yes.
next level facial expressions. So
Yeah, they
by
were.
that she meant like, oh, I guess I need to work on mine because those ones are ridiculous.
All right, then. I guess we can just go ahead and start from the top, unless anybody has any other order they need me to take folks in.
Mr. Burley.
None being heard. We're going to go ahead and start with Mr. Burley.
Burley.
We're calling you out, Mr. Bernie. Let's go. Mr. Bernie in no hurry.
We're waiting.
Take it easy. No rush, Mr. Bernie.
Excuse me.
Oh, God bless you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Burley. You
Burley.
are here on case number 2301222117, charging you with operating a car without insurance, driving without headlights, possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance with intent to distribute. I will note for your attorney that you have 2 pending cases, one from November of 21, charging you with driving on a suspended license and possession with intent to distribute marijuana, and
She's
the other
he's
from
consistent, if
January of
nothing else.
22 with a felony marijuana charge and crossing the guard lines with contraband. And that is all the information that I have on your case, and I'm going to hear from your attorney and the state about their positions on your bond.
Driving out with a car with no headlights.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Burley is 24 years old. He is originally from New York, but he's been here in Georgia for 10 years, so quite some time. Judge, right now, Mr. Burley, unfortunately, for the past 6 to 8 months, has been suffering from homelessness. He's been living out of his van Judge. To
Suffering
my knowledge, is
from?
currently impounded.
Got a bad case of the homelessness, Creed. I won't be able to work today.
It's a disease now if you're
I'm gonna
homeless.
need you to cover for me during the chase.
So his financial situation is not so well right now. He is a father of 2 children,
He can't afford headlights, Creed, but drugs, no problem.
and they're currently staying with their mother in Decatur. He's very active. He describes himself as a family man, and that is his biggest concern right now.
Family man.
He is employed. He works seasonally at Honey Baked Ham. He's been doing that for 5 years. He also has his own business called Majestic Cleaning LLC. He's been doing that for the past 6 months or so. He basically cleans houses or businesses, restaurants, and also does junk removal, Judge. He is a high school graduate.
Jack of
He
all
graduated
trades,
from high
Creed.
school in 2017.
He can carve a ham, he can clean it.
And we are relying on the court's leniency here. He needs a fairly low bond. He just doesn't have the financial means to afford much at all, especially given the fact that his home is currently impounded. So we're asking the court for a $2,000 bond in his case, or as low as the court is willing to grant. We understand his criminal history, but this is just a situation where it's just not much. And certain level of a financial bond would basically be no bond in his case, Judge.
All right.
The wording kills me.
He gets some free rent if he stays
Your
there.
Honor, he's already currently out on a $4,000 bond for that 2022 pending case here in DeKalb County. It has been indicted already. And then, of course, he's currently out on bond. I'm not sure what the bond is for that separate 2022 Coweta County case. With that, Your Honor, we are recommending a $5,000 bond, and that's mainly due to his criminal history and the facts that are alleged.
All right. I don't think that a low bond is appropriate given the facts and circumstances
Correct.
Of his case. I understand you're saying he has financial challenges, but obviously allegedly having that quantity of marijuana with scales, etc., would lend somebody to believe that he had money to buy stuff. So
It kind of seems that way, doesn't it,
I'm
Judge?
concerned that he is a risk to reoffend, and so I will set bond on the no
Jordan, you're back.
charge at
You're
$1,000.
absolutely right. You called it exactly what the judge just said.
I will set bond
Absolutely
on the no headlights charge as a signature bond. And then I will set bond on the drug charge at $4,000. So your total bond will be $5,000.
You only gave him $5,000.
Thank you, Judge.
I think he will, of course, reserve his right to his probable cause hearing.
Really just agreeing more than the last one.
Next, number 11. We can. Give me just a moment.
500 bones, he'll be out. Honey Baked Hams, by the way, I ate there one time and I've never eaten there again because I almost sound like Creed, but I felt like the ham was too sweet.
East side.
Tell me a sweet ham will ruin it. Too sweet.
Too sweet.
Come on, Small. All right, we can have Mr. Small.
Biggie?
Come on to the podium. Your turn. Come on.
Stephanie Yellen shows up and everybody starts yelling.
Come on, so we'll get you back upstairs. Come on.
They're moving a special kind of slow here today. The prisoners, anyway.
Has this guy been beat up?
Walks like it.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Small. You are here on case number 23-00097, charging you with entering an auto and also 97A with another count of entering an auto. I will
Carol's cousin.
let your attorney know that I do show you with two conviction, well, one conviction and one pending charge or set of charges in Georgia, and that is a 2013 burglary conviction, two burglary convictions from 2013, and then pending from November of 22 is possession of a sawed-off shotgun, possession of meth, possession of a firearm by convicted felon, possession of a firearm during commission of a crime, theft by receiving, and 2 different kinds of drugs times 2. I also show that you have 21 arrest cycles out of Florida, mostly for drugs.
21 for drugs.
Ms. Yellen, what would you like me to know about Mr. Small?
Good luck with this one, Miss Yellen.
Mr. Small is 34 years old. He is
Only
originally
4?
from Florida. He's been in Georgia permanently for about the past 6 months. He's living with his aunt at a Decatur, Georgia address. He also sometimes stays with his cousin out in Powder Springs. He works in construction. He's a contractor. He's got 2 houses that he's been doing work on in Georgia. He's a high school graduate. He graduated school in 1998. He does have some health issues, Judge. He's got some an old, what sounds like injury from getting shot several times. He has been receiving surgeries, it sounds like, to his rib and his pelvis. He has another.
Is that an injury when you've been shot?
In the line of duty, Mikey, in the line of duty.
21 drug charges.
Working.
Shot during a possible drug deal. Maybe they shot at him while he was working on a house. Maybe. Oh, yes, police Cara.
Surgery that was scheduled to basically put a metal plate in his jaw. I think that will probably be rescheduled upcoming.
They're putting a metal plate in his jaw.
He's a contractor, Mikey. Lots of things happen when you work in construction.
I can't get my knee looked at by a doctor, but this man's getting a metal jaw. He's going to be starring in a movie soon.
Out to get that health issue taken care of. I know he's got 2 warrants right now, Judge. It looks to me like they're basically the same thing. I couldn't decipher the difference.
2 different vehicles. One vehicle was a vehicle that had been rented by Penske, or rented from Penske by Emory, and the other one is owned by Emory. The one he's located in is owned by Emory.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I couldn't figure out the difference from my discerning eye. So I appreciate the court letting me know that. What I will say is, it appears that neither vehicle was actually taken. He was obviously found and arrested in one of the vehicles. No damage to the vehicle. The vehicles were obviously returned.
Pristine condition.
So we're asking for a low bond here. I understand he's got a case pending. He is obviously innocent of that case until proven guilty. And I think this case is very much a different case than that one, by the charges and by the factual allegations here.
He just walked off.
His last felony conviction was over 9 years ago at this point. So we're asking that the court set a fairly low bond on this case, given the allegations and given that the
he's got a great attitude,
out of pocket in any
way. He gets out that door and he's like,
our request on
he gets out the door like Kaiser Soze in Usual Suspects. He goes from limping like this to just walking just fine, walking down with his jaw.
This case is for a $2,000 bond, $1,000 bond on each case, and then do not return to the incident location, no contact with the victims.
Ms. Yellen, he has to go to the restroom.
Oh. Yeah,
Perfect
diarrhea.
time to leave me, Lucille.
He had to go pee pee. Are we gonna wait for him to get done? I mean, what if this is a number 2?
Right? It could be a while, especially if he's coughed. How do you wipe?
I mean, is somebody with him in the bathroom?
I hope Jordan wasn't timed out for that.
If so, I will be very upset. Jordan speaks from the heart.
He speaks spaghetti. And smart dude. I guess we are waiting. Why? And all those charges were like 9 years ago. Is that true though?
All right. Luckily, we were a little behind, so I guess we
that's
can
great.
we can jump ahead a little bit. Oh, still
Gamer
waiting.
for life. Welcome.
Still waiting on them.
After we stopped, we weren't hearing your case at that time. So it looks like he might be unwell.
I don't think he's feeling well this morning.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna hear from the prosecutor.
Okay, so
You
we're
can
going on
sit
with
there if
Adam.
It's more comfortable for you, sir.
Your Honor,
Jordan, come back.
we show the same criminal history, Your Honor. The concern is that he was very recently released from custody, where he bonded out on a $15,000 bond on November 15th, 2022. And then he picked up these new charges just yesterday. With that, Your Honor, we are recommending a $15,000 bond and a do not return order.
Mikey Mike, got a great new
And Judge,
channel.
I said it before and I'll say it again. I understand he's on bond. I just think these charges are not similarly situated to his other pending case.
I agree. I'm concerned about the allegations, but I'm not as concerned as if it had been a similar case. But I do think that a decent bond is appropriate given that he is on bond. So Mr. Small, I'm going to set bond in each of your cases at $2,500. So your total bond will be $5,000. And then you are not to return to the Emory campus in Decatur at all. None of the Emory properties in Decatur. And you'll need
What
to
is
sign
Emory?
on
Is that
both,
like a school or something?
just to make sure that we've got it. You'll sign on both the regular case and the sub A case.
$5,000. Not bad.
Did he poop his pants? Maybe.
I don't know. Is that him sitting there squatted?
Yes.
He had Oysters Rockefeller last night. I know. They sitting long.
Let's watch one more.
Damn dirty oyster, Your Honor.
That's all right. More.
All right, the next case I have then
Florida
is
Friday, and we got a chase today, and
Jones.
members only at 6. Main channel.
That's right. You still got time to join. Jordan, are you still here? I suggest you join the channel as a member because you will not regret what we're going to do for you at 6 p.m. Eastern. 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me.
5:30. Geez, it's going to take a few weeks to get used to that.
23-003220. Charging you with 1 count of theft by deception, 1 count of forgery in the first degree, and 1 count of financial transaction card theft. You do have a misdemeanor marijuana conviction from last year and a pending fleeing attempt to elude, but I don't show any felony criminal history.
Wow, he's an outstanding citizen, Your Honor.
Yeah, they're just considered that felonies.
Judge, Mr. Jones is 20 years old. He lives with his parents at the Stone Mountain address. He's lived with his parents since at that same address since he was 5. So he's been at the same address for the past 15 years. He's not a flight risk. I have good contact with both him and his mother.
Poor Jordan.
Judge, he is self-employed. He owns a automotive business called D&D Automotives. He's done that for the past year. He made it
Did
through the
somebody
11th
really
grade at
time him
Stevenson High
out?
School. As the court may mention, he has no felony criminal history and very minimal misdemeanor history. I don't want to get in too much of the facts of this case, Judge, but he does deny many of the allegations. I would just note that he made mention to me that the cards that he was found with actually belong to people he knows, friends and family. I'm not sure how far that warrant will get ultimately. But given his lack of criminal history, Judge, he has no real history of doing anything of this kind. He has no history of theft of any kind, no history of kind of deceptive charges. From what I can tell, they're mostly really traffic and low level marijuana a conviction, I think the court mentioned. So given his community ties, Judge, and his lack of criminal history, we're requesting a $4,000 bond on this case, split up amongst the 3 warrants. I think that is appropriate given the charges and given his lack of history. From what I can tell, both he and the co-defendant in this case were arrested pretty shortly after whatever allegation occurred here with the vehicle. So maybe Ms. Tran can correct me if I'm wrong, but
leave Jordan
I don't think
alone.
the alleged victim is likely out of pocket here. If there was a check used,
He must have had fun
money
yesterday.
used,
He came
my best
back.
guess here is that was returned to the alleged victim, given what I can tell is the short time frame between whatever occurred in the arrest. So we're asking for a $4,000 bond.
All right, Ms. Tran?
And Your Honor, unfortunately, we were not able to make contact with the victim in this case. He does have minimal criminal history, Your Honor, but it looks like we are recommending a $7,000 bond and no contact with his co-defendant in this case, which is position number 8.
Uh-oh. Co-defendant.
All right. Based on your lack of criminal history for this kind of serious allegation, I will set your bond on the theft by deception at $2,000, on the forgery charge at $1,000, and on the financial transaction card theft at $2,000. So your total bond will be $5,000, and you are ordered to have no contact with your co-defendant in this case. And we will
Funny-
reserve his right to his probable cause hearing.
Funny how they look at that like it's not that big of a deal just because it's not a felony.
Yeah, but when you got like 50 different things floating around, I would think they'd look at it a little more strongly. But, what do we know? We're just sitting here armchair quarterbacking this whole thing.
Over to the double dirty as we say goodbye here in a second. Listen, I'm sure that it is. We had fun when Jordan was speaking that language and made it into a little bit of a meme yesterday. So, things are much different over here. I don't think that we really have that many hard rules.
No, definitely.
I wouldn't worry about that one.
Absolutely not. I mean,
you got to.
I don't. If I can't understand it, more than likely you can't understand it either.
Yeah.
So it's not offending anyone.
We were having fun with it yesterday, like as if we were communicating with them, and we have no idea. But
look, this channel needs people from any part of the world they can get to watch the video. So if it's Jordan or if it's wherever they're from,
but yeah,
we appreciate anyone that takes time out of their day to stop by, as long as they're not in here trolling.
Right.
Which I don't think they are.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I just we don't have to be too proactive as well. Angela, thank you. $5. Can I pay now for Spot on the Train for the yes, you absolutely can.
100%.
Yes, you can.
I will save that right now. This is called a Mikey note.
We haven't been to the double dirty and for the true double dirty. There's a lot of courtrooms that look like this.
I got you ready for we got Chase. Well, there you go, Vinny. And Vinny is speaking broken language as well. But we let him stay. Hopefully, Jordan doesn't take it personally and comes back. Anyone's welcome here. We just try to have a good time.
Well,
I'm sure I could have translated it if I wanted to.
They're not putting N than I.
Yes. Racist stuff or anything like that.
That's the main thing. It's a racist, the politics.
Yeah, as long as it's neither one of those, I'm fine. I don't care.
Yeah,
so it is what it is. Maybe I'll be back.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Shells, Angela, 2 times with Angela. Carol, Jordan, come back. Kick this guy. He just screams. And
oh my God. Yeah, how many times has Bob come in here with something we can't read? Yeah, we haven't kicked him out. Get it together, kids.
He could have been the best troll we've ever had. Who's handsome, we'll never know.
He could have been a prince and wanted to finance this show, and he was just doing a little research.
That's
Next
a good
thing
point.
you know, I mean,
Although he wanted to
be on Easy Street.
Then again, he wanted us to send him $5,000 before we got all that money.
But it's all right. That's how it works, Creed. Business. You got to spend money to make money.
Bob is old. Well, good point. All right, guys. We'll see you at 4:05 for Florida Friday, and then don't forget members only at 5:30. I keep saying 6. It's 5:30. Put a giant sign in front of me, so I remember.
I'm going to make a note. Please go ahead and like this, subscribe, check out We Got a Case. That'll be your case exclusive channel, and eventually we'll be over there doing that.
Bob doesn't only just scream; he also speaks in tongues sometimes. Yells in tongues.
Yeah, he does, and we had to get his wife on it. Yeah, so we'll see you back for that. Until next time, look for Jordan.
Smoke weed every
day.
Run.